Last week, at the VS Connect event in New York City, Microsoft announced that a major piece of the .NET framework, called the .NET Core, would become open source. Within an hour, code started appearing on Github. Also, Microsoft announced the commitment to support official implementations of .NET on non-Windows platforms, namely OS X and Linux. Now, we've been able to do cross-platform development on an open source version of .NET for some time now with the Mono project. And don't worry, Mono isn't going anywhere. There have been interviews with Miguel de Icaza in which he says that Mono will integrate code from the .NET Core into Mono. However, there was one product that will not be open sourced or cross-platform, and that is Visual Studio, the .NET IDE. Visual Studio is an incredible product and I enjoy using it, and I highly recommend you check out the free community edition if you're not using Visual Studio or you've been using the Express editions. I think you'll be impressed. But if you're working on a Mac or want a consistent development experience across platforms, you're going to have to look at alternatives. The alternative I'm going to demonstrate in this video is called OmniSharp, and it was demoed during the VS Connect event by Scott Hanselman and Miguel de Icaza on a Mac. It works with several different editors, such as Sublime Text and the open source editors Atom from GitHub, as well as Adobe Brackets. It even works with Emacs and Vim for those hardcore Linux folks. OmniSharp is a wrapper around some open source .NET code analysis tools that allow it to provide IntelliSense, error detection, and navigate your source. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to use OmniSharp from within Atom and Brackets. So let's start with Atom. I've already got Atom installed on this Windows 8.1 box. I used Chocolatey to install it, and I recommend that you do too. I'll put a link to Chocolatey in the installation instructions in the description, and that's as simple as running choco install Atom to start the install. On the Mac, there is a zip file with a Mac application inside that you can drag to applications. The install for the plugin itself is very similar across platforms. So I'm going to open up Atom, and then I'm going to go to File, Settings, or Preferences on a Mac. And then I'm going to click on the Packages link on the left. Now I'm going to need to install 3 plugins, and I can install each one in turn by searching for it and then clicking the Install button. But one thing to note, you're going to have Git installed on your path before you can install the OmniSharp plugin itself. If you're using Chocolatey on Windows, Choco install Git makes short work of this. And on the Mac, Homebrew or Mac ports will get the job done. So the 3 plugins are Language C#, Autocomplete plus Async, and finally OmniSharp itself. Once OmniSharp has been installed, you'll see this little flame icon in the status bar, and it will turn green when OmniSharp is active. So to turn OmniSharp on, you either need to go to Packages, OmniSharp Atom, Toggle, or you can press Alt-Control-O. And a progress bar will start next to the flame icon. Now it appears that nothing happened. And the problem here is that OmniSharp could not find a C# file that's open, so I'm going to just save this file right here to my desktop as OmniSharp demo.cs, and then I will start again. This time it will start up and the flame will turn green. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the system namespace. Notice after a few letters OmniSharp will suggest the using keyword, which is what I want, so I'll hit Tab to select it. Then after the first few letters of system, it will do the same. Notice that OmniSharp only shows me the names of namespaces because it knows where in the code I am typing. So I'll hit Tab to finish that up. Now there's a green squiggly underneath using. So if I click on the flame icon and then go to the Errors tab, I'll see that OmniSharp has determined that I am not using the system namespace in the code, and it suggests that I can remove it. Of course, I'm going to make use of it later, so I'll ignore this error. Now I'm going to paste in a small class to show some other features of OmniSharp. I want to add two methods to this class. The first will determine if a task is complete. Now OmniSharp this time has detected the redundant this keyword and suggests that I remove it. The other method will mark a task as complete. Oops, I made a mistake. OmniSharp knows that I can't return a value from a void method. Now I'll create a small app to use the to-do class. So I'm going to create an instance of the to-do class. Here OmniSharp has detected more redundant code and suggests that I use the var keyword in the variable declaration. Now I'm going to mark this instance as complete. And as expected, OmniSharp knows that to-do1 is of type to-do and suggests only members of the to-do class. And I'll just create one more. And I'll add some output at the bottom of the code. Now notice that OmniSharp also realizes that I have imported the system namespace and limits the IntelliSense. So I'll save this, and then I will open up command line with the .NET compilers on the path and compile this code. And then I'll run it. And we get what we would expect. But there's also more that OmniSharp can do. So I'm going to put my cursor here on line 28. And I'm going to hit Control F12. This will take me to the definition of the mark method. Then, with my cursor on the mark method, I can press Shift F12, and down here in the Find tab, it will show me where the code is used. Again, OmniSharp is open source, so if you would like to add a feature and submit a pull request, visit the project on GitHub. I'll put links to everything in the description below. In the next video, I'll cover how to use OmniSharp with brackets. Thanks for watching, and I welcome any feedback.